It's 10 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and get started with the commission meeting. We will start out with the invocation by Pastor Marty Hamilton with the Bay Minette United Methodist Church, followed by the pledge from Commissioner McKenzie.
Thank you. Good morning. Let us pray. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the opportunities that you give us to be a part of your family, a part of your kingdom. God, we pray for the blessings that you have given us each and every day, God. We pray that you will continue to pour out your blessings upon the homes and the families of our community and our county. Lord, we thank you for the men and women who serve from various ways from our county commission. God, we just pray that you would bless them, give them wisdom. Lord, we pray for our law enforcement and our teachers and our medical community. God, that you continue to protect and pour out your grace in their lives. Lord, in this season of Christmas, Lord, we just pray that you will continue to give us generous hearts to be mindful of those in our communities in need this time of year. And Lord, we just pray that you will continue to pour out your blessings upon us and that we will come to know the depth of your love and your grace and your mercy and your hope and your peace. Lord, we ask all these things in the precious name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Okay, first on the agenda is adoption of the minutes.
So moved.
All right, got a motion made by Commissioner Baldwin to approve the minutes of November the 16th, 2022 regular organizational meeting.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Underwood. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Ayes have it. All right, next is the financial and payment of the bills. Commissioner Underwood.
All right. Okay. Commissioners, make a motion that we pay bills totaling $9,564,985.78. We don't have any that are being asked to be pulled, and these are all listed in the Baldwin County accounts payable payments. Of this amount, $5,268,877.63 is payable to the Baldwin County Board of Education. $370,640.84 is payable to the Gulf Shores Board of Education, and $160,646.94 is payable to the Orange Beach Board of Education for their portion of the county sales and use tax.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion by Commissioner Underwood, seconded by Commissioner Ball. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Ayes have it. All right, next is BA2, the notification of interim. We don't have to, it's just part of the record. All right, next is the consent agenda. Mr. Sink?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, before you is your consent agenda. Items CA through CQ. There are notes that were reviewed during work session, such as addendums for certificates of liability, so forth. There were no items that were pulled.
All right. Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we adopt our consent agenda with notations about the CA4, CA5, CA6, and hang on a minute, there we go. Item CM2 having notations made and discussed in work session.
And that also includes, for the record, item GA1.
And GA1, adding addenda GA1 to the consent was in there, okay?
Second.
Okay. All right, we got a motion made by Commissioner Underwood, seconded by Commissioner Ball. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The consent agenda is approved. All right, next.
There are no presentations Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Next is public hearings. There is one public hearing under planning and zoning, amendments to the Baldwin County subdivision regulations. Mr. Matthew Brown.
Morning, Matthew.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. This is an amendment to the subdivision regulations. I got to give a quick shout out to Mr. Buford King and DJ Hart. They threw this together for me on the agenda because I was out of town and I'd forgotten to get it on there, so I appreciate their work. This is a change to Articles 3 and 4 of the Baldwin County subdivision regulations pertaining to planning or family subdivision exemption requests. There are 4 basic changes that occur with this proposed amendment. First, we revised the definition of a family division to designate legally related immediate family members to include an owner's spouse, parent, child, and/or sibling, as well as a stepchild or adopted child of a property owner. This is to bring our subdivision regulations in alignment with the Attorney General's opinion about this definition for family divisions. Next, to require an affidavit executed by each proposed grantee, so this would be the recipient, certifying their relationship as an immediate family member to the owner/grantor. This change stems from some, we'll say, voluminous family divisions we've received where there have been 18 or 19 lots. And it's not really clear who all these supposed family members are, and if the people listed even know that they're being listed as family members on a proposed family division. And so this would ensure that all the parties are aware. Requires a copy of a birth certificate or some other equivalent document to just verify that family relationship. And then it also requires a deed. A lot of people don't realize this with a family division, but when we grant a letter, it doesn't actually create the family division. It actually just says this is exempt from our regulations, and then sometimes they hang on to that for years and think it's been created and it hasn't. So we're going to actually start clarifying that within 30 days they need to go record the deeds, because that's actually what creates the family division. And if they don't do that, then their letter expires and they just need to come and get another one. So we don't have all these letters just floating out there where folks think they have a family division just because they have a verification letter. The amendments are shown in red. It's just a couple paragraphs in the regulations themselves. Those are attached to the agenda. And then the aim of the amendment, I've really already discussed these, but this is to bring in alignment with the Attorney General's interpretation of immediate family members, and then just make sure these are indeed immediate family members that are listed. This is the Attorney General opinion. I'm not going to waste your time on that, but you can see the conclusion there. And staff recommends approval, and the Planning Commission recommends approval, and that's all that I have.
Matthew, I have one question, and I've asked you this before. It seems that we take grandchild out. If, like, for instance, my brother, he lost his son, he has a grandson, and he has some property, and he might want to give it to him. So that won't be part of the family. I'm just trying to throw out scenarios, to help. I know we wanted to take some of that out, but I was just thinking.
Can I comment on that? Some people don't even have children, so you don't have that lineage following you.
Right. Sure.
It just is, it follows with the Attorney General's definition.
And Brad can possibly help me out with this here, but I think that there's another way through the probate process that you can the probate process get involved in a situation where there maybe isn't an intervening child, maybe they've passed away, and so to get that property to the grandchild, or?
Well, I mean, once you're in probate, the owner's dead. So the exemption wouldn't necessarily apply at that point. But yes, I mean, the laws of intestacy or the will, if there is a will, then the property would be distributed according to its terms. If there's not,
sure, then
the laws of intestacy kind of set that forth. But I guess to address your question, the Attorney General has limited the definition of immediate family member. Sure. And so we're really just thinking with that. However, all we're talking about are exemptions from subdivision regulations. It doesn't mean that someone can't still subdivide it and give it to their grandchild. It's not a prohibition. They just have to do a little more paperwork, is really what it boils down to.
All right, well, thank you. I know there's going to be issues like that throughout the county, so.
Yep.
And one other option on that is if in the situation that you're describing, they could request a variance. In talking with Brad before, we feel like that's would be a route, and then the Planning Commission could evaluate, is this a legitimate rare situation that's arisen here? And perhaps handle it that way. Again, through the subdivision regulations, which is different than a zoning variance.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, any more questions of,
Not necessarily about a child or a grandchild, but I remember that it kind of came into play whenever we determined that several family subdivision exemptions were being granted to grantors who were giving it to nieces and nephews, and that is totally not part of that.
That's right.
You know, and so therefore it's kind of like, yeah, I started thinking, this is not me, you know, but I thought, oh, well, you know, I've got 12 nieces and nephews, but I don't have any children, I'll never have any grandchildren, you know what I mean? And so that's fine, but I'm just saying that it just has to be, it is what it is. Otherwise, when you get these exemptions, you get these ones that, like you said, how many was that one, the most extreme? Was it 18?
We've had over 20, but the recent one that we encountered was 18, and many of them were grandchildren that were listed on there.
They were grandchildren, and they also, a majority of, a lot of them weren't even, they didn't even live in the United States, so we couldn't verify even if they existed, you know?
all right,
Matthew, did you mention that we're checking birth certificates and stuff?
That's correct. So we'll have some type of document verification, either a birth certificate or an equivalent document.
That's all I
Any
got,
more
Matthew. Thank you.
questions of Matthew? If not, I call this public hearing to order for the amendments of the Baldwin County subdivision regulations. Is anyone signed up from?
I have no one, sir.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak for or against this issue? Hearing none, the public hearing is closed.
I make a motion.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Ball. Second by Commissioner Underwood to approve the amendments to the Baldwin County subdivision regulations and also to adopt a resolution number 2023-027, amending the Baldwin County subdivision regulations. All right. All right. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you, Matthew.
Thanks, Matt.
Okay.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is other staff recommendations. First item up is item FA1, which is Ono Island Water, Sewer, and Fire Protection Authority Board appointment.
Okay. All right, Commissioners. You've heard what's staff recommendation to appoint one member? Is it
Greg was his name. I don't remember his name.
Is it Craig? Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we appoint Craig Benson as recommended by the,
on the water?
There's multiple actions on this.
what?
There's accept the resignation of Mr. Sloan.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's back up.
And then to appoint.
I'll make a motion that we accept the resignation of Mr. Sloan.
Okay, got a motion made by Commissioner Underwood to accept the resignation and appoint. How can we do it in one?
You can do it in one.
Absolutely.
One.
All right, do it as one. Okay, I'll make a motion. Let's amend that motion or rescind it and start a new one, whatever we need to do. Stay legal here. This motion says that we will accept the resignation of Mr. Sloan and we will appoint Mr. Vincent onto the Ono Island Board. Water, Sewer, and Fire Protection Authority Board.
Got a motion by Commissioner Underwood I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner McKenzie for the Ono Island Water, Sewer, and Fire Protection Authority Board appointment. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. The ayes have it. All right.
Next item, Mr. Chairman, is item FA2, which is South Baldwin County Healthcare Authority Board appointments.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept staff recommendation.
All right, got a motion made by Commissioner Ball to accept the South Baldwin County Healthcare Authority Board appointments.
I'll second it.
And seconded by Commissioner Underwood. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Next.
Next, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, items FA3 and FA4 have been carried forward.
Okay.
Next up is addenda. As spoken earlier, GA1 was taken care of in consent. Item GA2, which is the acceptance of the resignation of the Juvenile Detention Director.
Sink, would you mind reading that?
Yes, sir, just a minute. The item is acceptance of the resignation of Juvenile Detention Director, and staff's recommendation is to accept the resignation of Mr. Ron Ballard, Juvenile Detention Director, effective February 1st, 2023.
Commissioners, you've heard the request from Ron Ballard.
I make a motion that we accept Mr. Ballard's resignation.
All right, got a motion made by Commissioner Ball, seconded by Commissioner Underwood to accept Ron Ballard's resignation effective February the 1st. Any further discussion? I'd just like to say that, you know, Ron has been a fantastic person in that juvenile detention. He has really made a great big difference at the Juvenile Detention Center, and he's gonna have some big shoes to fill is all I gotta say.
But I'm just saving that for commissioner comment.
Any other questions? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Ayes have it.
All right, next agenda, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, is item GA3, which is Prime Data LLC. This is the extension of professional service agreement for general programming and consulting. Staff's recommendation is as follows. Approve an extension to the professional services agreement between the Baldwin County Commission and Prime Data LLC for general programming and consulting services for an additional 9 months from December 2022 to August 2023 at a total cost of $15,600. It's $6,000 for December 2022 and a reduced rate of $1,200 for each subsequent month, not to exceed 36 months from the original effective date of November 2nd, 2021.
Okay, Commissioners?
I'll make a motion for GA3, the Prime Data.
Second. Got a motion made by Commissioner McKenzie. Do I hear a second? Second by Commissioner Ball. For GA3, which is Prime Data LLC, extension of professional service amendments for the general programming and consulting. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Next.
Next, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, is item GA4, which is Resolution 2023-031, formal program amendment of the Community Development Block Grant, project number CYCMPF 18-009, public hearing. Staff recommendations are as follows. Take the following actions. Number 1, adopt Resolution 2023-031 of the Baldwin County Commission to issue a public hearing notice to advertise the formal program amendment of the Community Development Block Grant, project number CYCMPF 8-18-009, reducing the total amount of homes connected to water services from 86 to 57, and reducing Perdido Bay water, sewer, and fire protections local match from $378,300 to $312,945.82. And secondly, authorize Grant Management LLC to hold the public hearing at the January 3rd, 2023 Baldwin County Commission regular meeting at 10 o'clock. That should read 8:30.
Yep.
And so just note for the record that 8:30. And number 3.
It's 10 o'clock, Ron.
Is it?
Yeah. We got 2 meetings in one day on that day, so.
Thank you. 10 o'clock. And number 3, authorize chairman to execute the updated implementation schedule to extend the current grant closeout deadline from December 31st, 2022 to March 31st, 2023. The formal program amendment submission for closeout to the Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs will come back before the commission following the public hearing.
Motion to approve GA4.
Commissioners, you've heard the staff's recommendation.
Motion to approve GA4.
Second.
I got a motion by Commissioner Ball, second by Commissioner Underwood to approve resolution number 2023-031, formal program amendments to the Community Development Block Grant, project number CYCMPF 18009. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right, next one.
That concludes addenda, sir. Next is commissioner requests.
All right, Commissioners.
I don't have any, sir.
Do I have to redo that request?
I don't think so.
It was in a work
Do we have to
session
redo that one?
about the library.
Well, I was gonna, during my section, I was gonna ask, does everybody want me to proceed as Commissioner Underwood discussed during the meeting?
Yeah.
Or in the work session?
Because they'll still have to come back to, or.
Yeah, no, but I'm just gonna start the drafting and whatnot, so
Okay.
it'll still come back before anything
Well,
happens.
hopefully we can get everything in place so they can get going by the first of the year.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then, I don't have any requests. Senior staff?
Yeah, senior staff, we covered quite a few dates, but we have the ARPA update, and I would like to introduce Mr. Roger Redelman with Investing in Alabama Counties. He is our liaison between IAC and the commission, working closely with staff.
Great.
Katrina?
Come on forward.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners.
Good morning.
Today's update reflects all of the ongoing projects listed in the order of the noted spreadsheet, and it's also displayed on the screen. We'll start with the enumerated uses, which is known as the rural ARPA dollars. Water, sewer, stormwater projects. The Boris Road, the right-of-way acquisition is ongoing. Lehman Road, staff received the subrecipient agreement. An agenda item to approve this funding will be brought back before the commission after legal review. Note that staff oversight and monitoring will be required for this subaward. After further discussion with ACCA, there is another option to utilize the interest earned from ARPA. Staff has been working and researching the final rule regarding the eligible uses of the interest earned, and that has now been confirmed.
I guess my question on that is so the 12,000 for Lima, we can use, the Lima Road, we can use, sorry, I'm pronouncing it wrong, but anyway, that money, we can use the interest to pay for that.
That's correct. So the interest earned is not subject to the program restrictions. And as of October 31st, approximately $350,000 has been accrued in the interest.
So you're saying, repeat that again about the use?
If we use the interest earned from ARPA, it does not require the program restrictions. So other
It can be
general
like that
services.
10 million then, right?
It's even less restrictive.
Even
than that.
less restricted than, ooh.
So with what you're saying about the interest that was earned from the ARPA, we can use it for anything that's
Legal.
legal-wise, and that's what I meant by anything the county, could be used for any county expense, TPP expense that we paid, that the county employees got.
That is correct.
We can pay back to the general fund.
That is correct. And there was approximately $110,000 in the TPP payments for those employees that hit general fund that were over the threshold.
We can pay that back to the general fund. So that's a good idea.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The stormwater projects, Labella determined that all 6 projects are eligible, and I will turn the floor over to the county engineer for his recommendation.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we've got 6 different stormwater projects we've been working on that we submitted to the IAC. They've given us a thumbs up moving forward with all 6. Currently, Tuberville Lane and the Surfside Shores drainage improvement projects are the furthest along with plans and right-of-way and permits. So my recommendation to y'all today would be for us to just come back with another agenda on the next meeting, asking for y'all to give us permission to move forward with those 2 projects. Tuberville Lane is going to be about $700,000. The Surfside Shore is going to be about 2.7. That's our current estimates, and we'll just move forward with letting those out, and we'll get those underway. The other 4, Red Gully, Kelly Pit, we're in right-of-way negotiations now, getting some right-of-way there, so we're really not completely firm on the prices yet, so we'll just wait on bringing those back forth to you, but still got the thumbs up on IAC to spend this money on those 2 projects. Faircloth and Ken Road 28 are under design right now as well, so that's my recommendation today. It's good news. IAC is working with us on these, so get to do something good with this money. So.
Okay. I think we can do that if you want to bring those, the 2 top ones up at our next meeting.
Yeah.
And go ahead and get those so we can get started on those, get going on them. Mm-hmm. If that's all right with the commission,
Yeah.
Good?
we'll bring that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to the broadband projects. A $3 million placeholder has been budgeted for possible future use. SANE is currently working on the draft feasibility study that is anticipated to be completed this month. Premium pay is ongoing to eligible employees with payments ending this month. Ventilation projects. Bay Minette Probate Office. Labella conducted the on-site evaluation on November 10th, and staff received the existing conditions report on December 2nd, and that is currently under review by staff. The Fairhope Courthouse ventilation assessment completed on October 21st. The report is currently pending with JMRNH.
We got the report this morning.
Oh, okay.
The report came in this morning.
Good.
Yeah, the report came in this morning. We haven't looked at it yet, but I'll get on top of it right away.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The Board of Education, future action pending further discussions with the board to determine the best course of action. At this time, are there any other facilities you wish to add to the priority list of buildings for the ventilation system evaluation? Good, okay.
No.
I think, we can go along, and we get these, and then we can, get this, and then come back with another list,
You got it. Other
As we finish these, we can add,
Okay.
you know. so-
Noted. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Other COVID-19 construction projects, the Magnolia Landfill Recycle Facility touchless components. ACCA staff is coordinating with the Solid Waste Director, Terry Graham, to identify project design features that can be funded with the regular ARPA funds. Courthouse outdoor renovations. ACCA has provided an assessment report from Scout, which provides two separate options. Staff requested ACCA prepare an analysis of the proposed alternatives on October 12th, and completion of the analysis is pending. Touchless restroom upgrades. Staff has received the design cost proposal from PH&J in the amount of $14,200. So that's the design cost proposal from PH&J in the amount of $14,200, which will be brought back before the commission following legal review. Staff wanted to ensure commission does not see an issue with this amount before proceeding.
Questions on that? Okay, next.
Good. Ionizers in buildings is subject to the finalized list of buildings to receive ventilation improvements. Mental health jail renovations. Staff has received the cost proposal from PH&J for the feasibility study in the amount of $5,000, which will be brought back before the commission following legal review of the contract. Staff wanted to ensure the commission does not forgo an issue with the amount before proceeding. So that was $5,000 for the feasibility study.
Okay.
Okay. Partitions in county buildings. Staff has received the design cost proposal from PH&J for 6.5% of construction cost, which is currently pending legal review. The design cost will not be known until the bids are received for the following 4 departments: Highway Department, Revenue Commission, 3 offices, Robert Stelfoley and Fairhope, Archives and Bay Minette, and JDC. So we won't know the exact costs until we receive the bids, and it'll be 6.5% of construction, but that'll be brought back before y'all.
Okay.
The Building Inspection Department, their last partition went before on the consent agenda, so for the Public Works Services contract, and that was approved, so we will be moving forward with that in Robertsdale. Old Vaughn School, ACCA has advised that further evaluation is needed and has requested that Scout Program Management assess this site and alternatives for budgeting and planning. Scout conducted an on-site evaluation on November 21st, and staff is currently awaiting the report. Aid to nonprofits. The PATH program with AltaPoint. AltaPoint requested $350,000 in annual funding, $700,000 total, to hire 4 additional professional staff members to work rotating 12-hour shifts in the event of a mental health, substance use, or homelessness crisis. AltaPoint did express concerns about staffing up this team temporarily using ARPA funds if the county would not be willing to continue to fund the program after December 31st, 2024. Would the commission like to discuss funding the creation of the PATH program with AltaPoint now that the funding request has been received?
So basically, they're asking us to
Commit to $350,000
commit,
here out.
yeah, $350,000 every year from here on out.
That's correct.
It's a lot of money.
This is, I would look at this as a trial program anyhow. I mean, even if we were to commit, doesn't mean that it would have to be in stone for the future, correct?
Correct.
So if this is something that is truly beneficial and helpful, this is an opportunity to get it kicked off, in my opinion. I don't want to read into too much that they don't want help, but I don't know. What does everybody else think? I mean, we can certainly find another use for it if they don't.
I mean,
I'm not exactly sure I understand this program, but, you know.
So it's going to assist instead of a lot of the Mobile County, how they have their set up, instead of the mental health being incarcerated, this is going to be open up so they can actually go to a health center instead.
So that would Well, then I'm interested in continuing then that, then.
I like that.
Just as long as we're
Give
not
us a
entering into-
presentation.
Can they come
Agreement, yeah.
present, tell us how it would actually work?
Yes, ma'am. I'll set that up.
Yeah, if we could get.
Big amount of money.
Clerk Schlesinger to come to give us a full, program, what he's planning on doing with this, it'd be a lot easier than, I think, looking at it.
So we know this is something that's, that's a P up there at the top, which that means it's pending. True ARPA funds can be used for this.
That's right.
It just depends on our action.
That's right.
Okay.
But I'll schedule them to come and give the full presentation before any commission action is
I
made.
think that would be good, and then, yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
The nonprofit applications, the application deadline was December 1st. There is currently $100,000 set aside. However, allocating additional funds can be discussed at the commission's discretion once applications have been evaluated. Staff received the following applications that are currently under review: Alta Point, Family Promise, Prodigy Pantry, The Dream Center, Child Advocacy Center, Feeding the Gulf Coast. The following applications were not received. The Landing. It was deemed ineligible due to not being designated as a 501c3. Shoulder, Drug and Alcohol. Staff emailed the executive director 3 times along with 2 phone conversations. Staff confirmed on December 1st that they were not going to submit their application.
Okay, so are these true ARPA funds, or are they not?
These are real ARPA funds.
Real ARPA funds, okay.
So the applicant's requested amounts will come back before the commission following review of the ones received.
Thank you.
COVID-19 mitigation projects. Insurance costs is ongoing and comes before the commission on a quarterly basis. COVID-19 leave is completed. Government resilience projects. Tyler Technologies is completed. Electronic document management system is a low priority item to review later. Administrative cost is ongoing and comes before the commission on a quarterly basis. Households and community projects. Baldwin Family Village Foundation. An evaluation has been provided by ACCA noting the Federal Housing Act relative to the fact that Baldwin Family Village will exclusively serve women and women with children. This is currently pending county legal review.
When do you think we'll have an answer, Brad, on this one with the family village?
I mean, I can prioritize it. She said pending legal review on about 10 things, and I'm not sure I even recognize all the things she's talking about. So let me check. But anything that needs to be prioritized, I can.
All right.
Commission department funding request, the Bratz Bay Minette Transit Hub. The commission advised staff on October 31st to move forward with a request to ACCA to perform an on-site evaluation. Documents were submitted to ACCA for this request. Bratz pre-pandemic staffing levels. Additional information is needed to inform the number of positions and potential cost. Commission requested additional time to consider their request during the October 31st work session. Would the commission be interested in staff calculating the pre-pandemic staffing levels? Or just hold for pending further discussions?
Okay.
You're asking us, right?
Yes, sir.
We're good with that, I think.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah.
You want to hold for further discussion?
Yeah.
Let's hold that one for further
Yeah.
discussion.
Noted. JDC mental health cells. Staff has received the cost proposal from PH&J for the feasibility study in the amount of $1,500, which will be brought back before the commission. So that's for 2 mental health padded cells at JDC, and the feasibility study cost is $1,500.
Following legal review. You need to get the packet when you leave.
It was like 50,000 checklists. You're the bottom one. Or maybe the top, I don't know.
Okay.
So now we'll go to the revenue replacement funds. The Magnolia landfill recycle facility design is ongoing. Lexipol law enforcement training. We need to discuss the use of revenue replacement funds to reimburse these costs of approximately $70,000. And this would reimburse the sheriff's office for this training software. Would you like to leave this project as pending discussion, remove, or advise staff to proceed?
Okay.
I mean, if we didn't use these funds, would this
We
come
gotta
out
pay
of
it.
our budget anyway?
Yes, sir, it already came out of your budget.
Yeah, we got.
I'd say why don't we go ahead and
Proceed.
proceed on
Yes.
that one? That 70,000 is what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Proceed with that one.
Got it, thank you. Cordy Road Extension, same situation. Discuss use of approximately $3 million in revenue replacement funds for this proposed project. If county engineer has anything to add regarding the Cordy Road project.
We still got a lot to do on this one, don't we?
Yeah,
But can we proceed with this amount? Is that what you're asking?
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a legal expense, okay? But we're just in the planning stages, and we're actually in the right-of-way acquisition phase right now. So we're not ready to ask y'all to spend this money yet, okay? So,
I think it would leave it in pending for now, just in case, because what if some of these other things come back? You know how it is, even though they estimate it, some things come back more. And this is that pot that has some, it ain't got the total, what do you call it? Restriction. I mean, it ain't got as much restrictions as true ARPA monies.
yeah.
But, you know,
So I mean, I think it's pending right now. It's fine with us. I mean, it's fine
Okay.
with y'all.
Okay.
We're all good with that. And
if you'll just give us a heads up
when we get to a point where we need the funds, we'll come back and y'all can make the decision at that point in time.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
maybe the MPO will help us with it, or they can't. They can't.
The Clean Strike Foggers project is completed. Motorola equipment and additional bandwidth is completed. The Gateway Initiative. On October 31st, Commission requested the Gateway Initiative funding be held off until more is known about the City of Foley's property donation.
I'd keep that one at pending.
Yes, ma'am. Courthouse security. The cost proposal from the assessment is $589,550. If the commission wishes to move forward with this project, a qualified architect would need to be selected to design, bid, and oversee construction.
I think go ahead with that one.
Go ahead with that, yeah.
Yeah. we need to
Proceed
get
with
that
approval.
done.
Okay, thank you. The commission department funding request. Bratz transportation costs for South Baldwin Workforce Campus. This is related to the Gateway Initiative project above.
So it can go pen too.
So at this time, further discussions are needed.
Yeah. We still haven't got that completely figured out yet, I don't think.
That's right.
I know, there's a long way to go on that one, yeah.
There it is.
But the thing, I think with this one, Mr. Chairman, I know that initially they needed, in order to get the ball rolling, they had to do the master plan thing that cost money. But I think our holdback is what is Orange Beach and Gulf Shores going to contribute?
Right.
This is a tri-party type thing, four of us actually, with Foley, Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, and us involved. Right now, we're only hearing of us, and I think we're just wanting to see where everybody else stands before we commit to something, so.
Yeah, because, I mean, my biggest question is, where does CVB, Convention Visitors and Bureau, fall into that? There's a lot of revenue generated there, and 300,000 is, whereas it is a large amount, it's not a huge amount compared to what comes in from that. And that's where the majority of the workforce is needed, is in that arena, so.
I think it's definitely be good to, the Gateway's been knocking on my door and everybody else's door for another meeting, bring them back to a work session, maybe the next work session that we have, so they can explain where they are and what they need us for.
Yeah, I mean, I would be open to more of like a four-way agreement, that we're not bearing the whole cost, even if it's with ARPA funds, it don't matter. It's still county funds at this point in time that we share it, split it, $75,000 apiece. I mean,
Well, you know, I think.
you have not if you ask not, and I guess they asked,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Well, I don't think they've even got down to the point where they know what they, you know, all three parties plus us have not even got this thing going yet good. I mean, they don't know, it's got a long ways to go.
but I guess what I'm saying is that I don't think, if the cost of the study is $300,000, why is the county paying the whole amount of the study, you know?
Well, I think because the money was available to us and it was not available to the cities is what it is. See, the cities don't have that, so that's why they were asking us to pay for that.
I think having the master plan in place triggers the effect of everything else. You have to have that first before any other talks can happen with the gateway side of things. So
Yeah.
they were asking us for the 270 for the master plan. So, or the impact study and all that stuff. So I think we need to sit down back at the table and talk with them and let us explain more. I mean, it's what they're requesting. So I'd rather them come to a work session than to try to get us individually talking about this. So, Katrina, let's reach out to them. If y'all are all right, reach out to them and let them come back to another meeting and explain it one more time.
I think so, because, you know, we need, I don't know how to keep saying the same thing. There's nobody, this thing is still not organized enough where they have anybody that's.
There's no
willing to
true
step forward and do
commitments past
anything.
this.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, they got the three partners, but the three partners have not even formulated a method how they're going to work this thing.
Right.
And I think until that's done, until they have who's going to be responsible for what, you know,
Well, that's where.
they got to know where they're heading first before they get there.
Well, that's why I was suggesting that if everybody chip in a little bit towards this, it wouldn't be like, oh, well, there's just some ARPA monies out there and we'll just spend that and it won't matter. You know, it does matter. You know, it's funds that we have to be responsible for to the good stewards of money.
Well, let's see if we can't sit down and get a meeting with them and sit down and discuss this with them.
Well, if they could come to a work session, that would be nice, because sending an email, talking to different commissioners, I've not had a one-on-one meeting with them at all, because schedules are so hard, you know.
Let's do it at the next work session.
I think it'd be good if we can get all the parties involved, you know, the three municipalities and us and the Gateway Initiative sitting in a setting and talk about this thing. I mean, you know, we're not going to get anywhere and just keep saying, well, we're going to do this, you know, because nobody still knows what.
So do you want to send the invitation out to Orange Beach and Gulf Shores and Foley, and everybody to be at the next work session?
Yeah.
And we'll see who shows up.
Right.
See,
And that'll help.
I mean, that'll show you if they're not interested, they're not interested. I mean,
If they're not interested, I mean, we can't build
can't force them to come to
it.
the
We can't
meeting,
build
but
it.
We can offer that so that,
You know,
if they want the funds that bad, they'll get the folks here.
they can send a representative if the elected leader can't be there.
So let's say that's
the
going
Fair
to be
Hope
on the 20th, right? I mean, excuse me, the 19th.
Okay.
Is that the date we're looking at? I know.
Yep.
The 19th, the next work session? Yes. December 19th?
Yep.
So between now and December 19th, we're going to send letters to Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, and Foley requesting their presence at that meeting to talk to us about this.
And also the Gateway. Yeah.
And Gateway, let Gateway tell them that, look, we need them here.
Yeah. CVB too, CVB.
Yes, because they're, if I recall, a couple of years ago when this was still being talked about, there was, consultant was hired or maybe he was donating his time, I don't know. But the guy that used to be head of Economic Development Alliance was talking with, Beth from CVB and different ones to just figure out where we really at here, you know.
I think
Okay.
maybe even looping in course, Gateway's part of the chamber there. I would loop in coastal Alabama.
And also maybe, some of the legislators they're being asked a big ask to help, with state monies to help with Gateway too.
Yep.
Just, I just hate to see monies expended for something that there's really don't know where we stand, like Commissioner Gruber said, and this money just gets put on a shelf just because they think it's here and we need to spend it.
Okay. You have anything else?
So, planning and zoning requests, there were 4 different requests, 3 of which are awaiting cost proposals. And then we have the pave or gravel dirt roads identified in the Environmental Advisory Committee dirt road study, and the study is awaiting completion. So we'll bring back their recommendation for those dirt roads following that report.
Okay.
Probate judge monitors. Staff is awaiting further details and cost estimates at this time.
Monitors,
What's with that one?
So I got just a very brief explanation that they were wanting some displayed monitors by their reps. So when someone is sitting down with them, they can see better and also work with the social distance. So it would be the monitor at every single individual desk for the customers to view. That was the request that I understood.
that wouldn't be able to be true ARPA funds?
How would that work, Katrina, with
When you see the picture?
security and privacy? Like, if all your information is pulled up on that screen, I mean, there's a line in that building. So, I mean, I would assume, and there's no more social distancing. So I would assume that the person standing behind you would be able to look over your shoulder and see all your information.
That is right. And I can get with Dean Mott on this request because I don't really have further details on what he's...
Yeah, a little more information would be needed on that one,
Got it.
especially if it doesn't, if the pretense is for help with social distances and all that, and then it don't fall under 2 ARPA funds, that's interesting. Okay.
Well, not only that, I mean, if you're gonna have to set up chairs, because they're gonna want to sit down and so they can, control, look at the monitor and do everything else, and it's gonna slow their process down big time.
Yeah, let's just kick that one down the road for a little while.
Noted.
You need to talk to them.
Yeah, we need to talk to them. Ask them to explain it to us. They can come to a work session or something.
So our final discussion item, and this is regarding revenue replacement funds, is the aid to nonprofits. The Historic Blakely State Authority submitted the application to staff on November 9th. So this was the first application received. ACCA did review the application and deemed it eligible for the revenue replacement funds. The Historic Blakely State Authority is not classified as a 501c3, but the county is authorized by state statute to support the state park and the government services it provides.
I say we move forward on that.
Move forward with that one.
Move forward on that.
Yeah.
So the authority requested and demonstrated $46,000 in financial hardship.
Yeah, let's get that to them.
I'll get that on the next agenda. Are there any other commission ARPA requests at this time?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have one if you'd like to bring it to the commission. I received a package from the town of Silver Hill for a water tower project. The project entails constructing a 250,000-gallon water tank to meet the increasing demands on their current system. The current system has 1,160 meters, and 660 of those meters are outside of their corporate limits. Would like to request the staff to submit this project to ACCA for review, see if it's approved. And what they're asking is not to completely put a new water well and a tank, it's just a holding tank. They're running out of water and things, and they need some help with it. And what I suggested to the town of Silver Hill was the project total cost is like 2 point something million. I don't know the total amount, but I just gave them a figure of 1 million if we can. But I need, to see what y'all think about this, how you feel.
I also talked to Mayor Lyles, and looking at the footprint of the city limits of Silver Hill, it's only 1 mile square. And almost every bit of this is in there. And you know, we talked about annexing and all this kind of stuff to try to, you know, get some of the subdivisions and stuff. And what they're running up against is a lot of stuff that's right outside their corporate limits is not new development. There's a gap between old development and the new development, but like, I didn't remember the numbers, but almost, they're really I think they're at almost a crisis of what just exists, even if there's no expansion of, you know, where they're at. They just got to make sure that where they're at, if I don't really understand all how water is and how that works, because we don't provide that. I had to get in those weeds myself, but he gave me a list of like usage and how their usage is something to do with ADM and all that kind of stuff. And they are very, very limited on their budget in a town like Silver Hill because of their corporate limits only being so small. They're not opposed to trying to expand that. It's just very complicated with the way their dynamics are. And so I would not be opposed if this is an ARPA use for that. And I think that Matt may had already contacted you guys to find out, is it an ARPA, true ARPA?
We will submit it to ACCA, but it does fall under one of the main categories for the real enumerated uses.
And I would be okay with that amount. I don't know about the rest of the commission.
I mean, let's see if ACCA approves it.
If it's approved, yeah, that would be pending, yeah. At least look for.
Or would this be a better project for the CDBG stuff that we've
They
done?
don't qualify because they're LMI. That's the big problem with Baldwin County. And because there's such a small little gap, but they're very, you know, he said they have applied for everything out there. And he said they don't meet the LMI. It's like when we had Stacy here earlier talking about, even that, we know that area qualified, but you can't make people, you know, hook to it. And so this is actually, they're just at capacity and they need assistance. And small municipalities like that, this is one of those golden opportunities. Don't happen very often that where we could help them. And I really feel like that we get requests from time to time about helping with roads and different things like that. And I feel like that this is, you know, when you get people ask you something, first thing you're like, oh Lord, what are they asking? You know, but after sitting there for about an hour and listening to it all, I think it's worth looking into and seeing if it qualifies.
We'll get this submitted. Is there any other requests? No. All right.
And I got one more thing, if you don't mind. If I can get the commission to look at it, you know, we didn't budget the money this year for the construction of the probate office in Robertsdale, but if we can use some of that money for the interest money to use on the construction, since there's no strings attached to that money, can we, you know, I just want us to get their opinion on it. Maybe we can fix up the probate office in Robertsdale because we're going to get, Aaliyah's going to bring us staff. I just don't want to, I want to have it fixed up where we can help the citizens of Baldwin County.
I think what we were asking was for them to come back with maybe some better estimates of what they wanted to do, because there was just an amount thrown out there.
Sure.
And that was back during budget even, that I was not opposed to helping expand that office, but, you know, just like those bathrooms at the Foley Courthouse, Skip, every time you turn around, how much money they cost, you know?
Okay.
And if you don't mind if I can have just a couple minutes just to kind of explain why I'm standing up here besides just standing next to her. Basically, just to give you a little background, I was a former state examiner based here in Baldwin County way back when, long before she was born, I guarantee you, for 5 years. After that, I was director of finance in Mobile County for 6 years. In the last 20 years, I've been the Lee County administrator and left the retirement system, retired from the retirement system to start my own business. Over those 20 years, I noticed that a lot of municipal governments, counties, cities, needed assistance with problem solving. So I started a firm that does that, and it just happens to be this ARPA comes along, and Sonny Bradsfield reached out to me on behalf of ACC to engage my firm to help them. One of the things I'm doing, and I'm helping right now 10 other counties, and it's all water and sewer, and the Silver Hero thing, I would guess definitely will be able to use the restricted enumerated funds for. Obviously, they need evaluation, but those are the type of projects that a lot of counties are doing, so I think that would fit. The main reason I'm here now is that Baldwin County is, you guys have a lot of money of this ARPA to spend, and it is taxing your staff, and because you are paying ACCA very well, I've now been asked by the Investing in County Act, Investing in Alabama Counties, to actually put you as my top priority. I'll actually will be taking over doing these updates for you. So you can free you up to her, because I know you guys have got a lot more of the grant money that she needs to be messing with, so I'm going to take that off her plate and help that out. So I plan to try to be here at every meeting to give you that update. There may be a few she might have to still step in, but I'll be here from here on out to give the updates. And I just also want to make sure that you understand I do not work for ACCA. I'm contracted with them. And sometimes I might give some opinions, don't necessarily reflect ACCA, but that's what I'm here, is to basically help you guys with this project. I'll try to make sure I always qualify those type of comments, but hopefully we'll be able to help you guys move forward with these projects as quickly as possible, and then start getting this funding done, because you are on a deadline. I mean, you got to have everything obligated by into 24, and everything has to be spent by the end of 26, and that's going to come faster than you realize it, because time's been flying on these projects. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Sounds good.
Thank you.
I do have a question. We stuck $3 million in there kind of for broadband, but after listening to a lot of different pros and cons as to whether or not that's really going to make an impact, especially since I know the legislation had to be passed in order for the state to help with all that. The broadband situation is very frustrating, and $3 million is not going to, I think about what this $1 million means to Silver Hill, and I'm sitting here thinking, we need to get this money allocated and spent, because we do have a deadline approaching. Even though it's a few years, things take forever in government. And so I would like your opinion. I've heard everybody else's opinion. You don't have to do it right now, but if we should start looking for a better use for that $3 million.
Well, I'll give it to you now.
You give it to now?
Yeah, I agree. There are so many other pots of money out there that are dedicated to broadband that there's other avenues to get that funded for the companies.
So would you guys like to see that removed off of there, so that gives us a little more money in case some other very viable projects that would make a bigger impact for the citizens of Baldwin County, just put it as that it's just remaining out there?
We got what, $3 million sitting there.
It won't do squat.
For broadband, and we can move it to doing some projects, like that's the water.
Like that, and
stuff
also,
like that. It would be a little bit more. Because the broadband is going to be hard anyway here. We've got broadband most of the places here. We've got what we need is it to be enhanced. We've got some areas that doesn't have it, but
again, there's a lot of other funding opportunities, and they're taking it. You're still going to probably be approached by some, but really, for the most part, the concentration is other pots of money. I would say that if it was me, I would say I would move it to something that the Baldwin County can invest in, that you get a return out of, that helps you and your resources down the road, whether it's more ventilation, stuff that like ventilation, that will be a return to where it helps you with operating costs, et cetera. Those kind of things, in my opinion, I would kind of focus more.
Well, then I value your opinion, because, it was just unclear, and without having the technical knowledge to really understand how it really, really works. So, I would like to see the broadband just taken off of there, since we're in an open public meeting. the rest of y'all.
I'm good with that because I don't think $3 million is going to accomplish a lot.
No.
And so I'm good with that.
And there was no.
I wish we had more.
Resolution passed for this placeholder, so aware.
Yeah.
So good, staff will remove it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Ron, you got anything else?
No, sir, just to reiterate, there will be more agenda items coming forward on an individual basis dealing with these ARPA funds for your specific approval.
Okay. Okay, then next is the county attorney report?
No report.
Okay. Next, we have public comment. We have everybody signed up on?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I have Ms. Sue signed up to discuss an item with the Correction Center.
Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Sue, and in May of this year, there was a brutal assault on one of the inmates, a pretrial detainee at Baldwin County Corrections. It was a conspired assault where it was premeditated. They went and pulled the inmate out of his cell and were already at the ready and commenced assaulting him. We have two different stories of why. One was that one of the assailants stated that it was due to a grievance that the inmate had written a couple of days prior. And the other is when one of the majors approached the inmate while he was strapped in the chair, was told that it was due to him speaking about employees to myself. I'm his fiance, and we were on the phone. But the only persons that we've ever spoken about was his PO and the prosecutor. So we're not quite sure what's going on with that. But we've been given the runaround. We've went to Internal Affairs to try to get something done. All the assailants are still working there. We've since found out, since that date, there's been several more inmates that have been injured and assaulted by corrections officers there, or the CERT team in particular. And there's also parts of the CERT team are actual sheriff's deputies that were involved in at least the May 12th incident. And from what we've understood in all of this, since we've been trying to get answers and attention brought to it so that changes can be made and something can be done, is that the commission here is in charge of the sheriff's office and anything that happens with them, I guess. If not, then we'd like to know who he is.
No.
We've gone to the Attorney General, and the Attorney General bounced it back to the sheriff and said, just deal with it however you want to, basically is what the letter stated. We've gone to the governor, who turned it over to the Attorney General a second time, who again just said, just do whatever you want to. And we've got people that are being seriously injured. He's still suffering from the injuries that were sustained at Baldwin County. The sheriff refused to speak to us. We've gone there several times. We've been out here protesting since about right after the incident, since about May, out here, and still have gotten no answers. We've had it, it's been in the news, it's been in the papers, and no one's doing anything about it.
Okay. The part of, us being in charge of the sheriff, we're not in charge of the sheriff. The sheriff is a completely separate elected official.
Okay.
All we do, we handle the money part.
Okay.
We budget his money for him. We budget just like we do for the probate judge and the revenue commission and coroner. We provide the funding for those, but we have no authority over them whatsoever.
Okay, so nothing
And we
that
provide,
they,
we provide their buildings and stuff like that, but we don't, as far as, us telling them, well, you got to do this or you have to do that.
or bringing anything to their attention with regards to the way they handle anything like that?
We can't do any of that. That's strictly a whole new department all by itself.
Well, Ms. Sue, I do want to say, I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry that you lost a loved one, but like the chairman said.
He wasn't killed.
Well, but he was,
Yeah,
he was
injured, yeah,
injured,
yes,
right? And I'm
yes.
sorry, there was
No,
somebody else I was thinking
no,
about.
that's okay. I appreciate
But I do
that.
apologize for anything that, yeah, I don't know anything about it. I'm learning it, but like the chairman says, we don't control the sheriff. He's his own elected official.
And
I'm just
so-
sorry that happened.
I
That
appreciate
happened there.
that. I appreciate, we are too, because it never should have happened.
Sure.
And he was in there as a pretrial detainee, which was covered under the 14th Amendment, which was, and others, but that was clearly violated. And now he's getting deliberate indifference. We all are, because everyone's just washing their hands and saying, oh, go see these people. We don't have anything to do with it. Now, it's been substantiated. The federal marshal have already confirmed to us that, yes, it did happen. They saw the video. Everyone has seen the video, and we're trying to get our hands on the video, and they're not doing anything to reprimand the assailants as well. So they're still in there doing their thing to other people.
Okay.
Okay. All right, well, I appreciate y'all letting me speak.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
You can come on, you'll have to.
You can come to the mic, please.
Sheriff don't answer y'all, who does he answer?
To the public.
Elected officials. Elected.
Who disciplines him and his group?
The courts.
Well, you got the Attorney General's office for one. He can.
Now, they in bed together, we already know that.
Yeah.
We got a letter,
Sure.
if you want to read it.
No, I mean, I try.
All he said was, Hoss, you handle it. Well, he ain't handled it. And we have got a lawyer.
The only thing now, the only other thing is, it would be a court action, something that, if, you want to sue the sheriff personally, or, then that's the only thing, that's your recourse, that, you can take against the sheriff,
Well, we've tried. We went across the road over here. This guy says he can't do nothing, internal affairs. He can't do nothing. He said. We even tried to find out how to press charges on these guys. Nobody in Baldwin County would tell us.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was to come over and slap you, I'd be over at across the road. What's the difference? What's the difference in a CO beating my son till he pissed blood, but we can't get nothing done? And I'm sure y'all got family.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you on that, because like I say, it's, we have no control whatsoever over the sheriff.
Even all of his employees are underneath the sheriff, not under us.
But the sheriff don't answer to nobody. They That's what I don't understand.
Well, he does. He does.
Elected officials answer to the public.
To the state.
Anytime you go there, they're always telling us he's not here, or...
It's one big cover-up. They won't release the video.
Brad, if you would.
Yeah,
please,
Mr.
please
Chairman, I mean, I understand you don't like the answer, but we do not discipline the sheriff. We do not have oversight over the sheriff. This is a totally civil government organization that runs the business of the county. It has nothing to do with law enforcement. And we don't know who is in charge, who would discipline the sheriff. That's really not our job. So you need to hire a lawyer or seek somebody else who could give you that advice, but they don't know the answer to the questions that you're asking. Yes.
They just told me to get an attorney. Since you're an attorney, you should know who he answers to.
Okay, I represent the Baldwin County Sheriff as well, so if you want an attorney, you can get one.
I listen. Well, I go to you.
All right. All right. Is there any other public comments? Anyone else?
No, sir.
All right. Press questions? Commission comments?
Who you want to go first?
Doesn't matter, whoever.
You mind if I go first, yeah?
Deb, you want to go first? Or,
If you don't mind, Chairman, there's a few things I want to bring up. It's, and Joey, the county engineer, brought it to my attention, and I remember this going on, but we just want to praise the 8-mile-long spill from Silver Hill to Magnolia Landfill where it happened. The county employees, Silver Hill, it was a team effort, and it was just an awesome thing that they got it cleaned up. And I just want to praise them, from the sheriff's office to EMA to waste management, Silver Hill Public Works, You know, it took all day, and one of the largest spills that Joey's have seen here, so that's an honor. I mean, that was great work and great team to get this done. The employees' promotions that we talked about, man, that's awesome for the employees to get promoted and to move up. And that's what you want to do when you're here as an employee, is to move up. I want to say one more thing, and it's to Brian Peacock's wife's stepfather, passed away. And I just want to say our hearts are out with their family, and just please pray for them while they go through this tough time. But I thought that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Underwood?
Yes, we have a couple of people retiring from our staff, which we were able to celebrate with Kevin Carroll at the Bay Minette Highway, I'll just say Highway Barn, because that's what's in my head. I know they call it maintenance facility or something like that, but Kevin had over 31 years with the county. Excellent person, I'm happy for them, but I'm sad to see them go. And it's the same thing with Ron Ballard. I know earlier we accepted his resignation, and I told him he's not old enough to retire. He is 1 month older than me, and he's eligible for retirement. And he said that, he's got valid reasons. It's not anything to do with us. I did ask that. And he said that he's got to help with his dad and different things. And I know as we get to be my age and older, that's what we have to contend with a lot if we're blessed to still have our parents. So we're going to miss both of those tremendously because, as we always say, you can't replace those people. You just have to have someone else come along. And hopefully that whoever comes along behind them they got big shoes to fill, as we say. I know I didn't come up with those sayings. And again, I just want to thank the staff for all the work that you do. Going through 700 and something pages of agenda is arduous, and I know that's just about 3/4 of what we normally have. And then Anu had a birthday on Saturday, and Ron had a birthday on Friday, so happy belated birthday. I'll just say it out loud. And mine's, when's yours?
Mine's January 15th.
Okay, we got him coming up. And then anybody else got a birthday? Christmas season is upon us. I enjoy riding around, and when I get a chance to, it's probably usually going from here and there and to and fro that I get to see glimpses of all the beautiful lights and everything. And we have the Bicentennial Christmas Festival part coming up this Friday and Saturday night, is that correct? Plus the drive-through lights going on. I haven't made it up there yet. I do fully intend on getting up there. It takes me a full hour to get there from my house, so with nighttime and all, it's kind of sometimes you got to really be awake. When you get up really, really early, I kind of start, not literally, but turn into a pumpkin after dark. So, but for those who don't live as far or can make the trip, I wish I could do it more than once, but I can't wait to go see the lights at Bicentennial Park in Stockton, up off of Highway 221, just north of the interstate, I-65. And what exit is that? I know it's 37 up at this one. Joey, do you know what? He ain't paying attention to me. What exit is 225 on I-65? Oh, 34? Okay, exit 34.
Sounds good.
For those around that anyways, for those who don't, travel that area a lot, just want to encourage you to, it's free, just drive through and see all the beautiful lights. And, I know you're probably waiting on me to hush, so thank everybody, and enjoy the season as it's coming about. Remember the true reason for the season. And hang on a minute, I think I might have got a clarification. Oh, nope, Joey just telling me that there's been 997 trees decorated. Couldn't y'all find 3 more? I mean, come on, who wants to remember 997? I mean, that sounds like a 99.7, that sounds like a radio station or something like that. But I am really tired, but I've been sitting up here since 30. But thank you, and Merry Christmas.
Commissioner, good. Ball?
I'm good.
I just want to thank the staff for getting this agenda together. And with Ron, it's going to, Ballard is announcing his retirement. We're going to have to start looking for somebody, and I think y'all want to, would y'all like to go ahead and start advertising so we can get that taken care of? If not, and then we'll go ahead and start advertising that, Ron, if we can.
And can we
put something together?
And Ron Ballard did say that he would assist us with,
Yes.
because I don't know how to hire a JDC person.
I mean, and Ron is waiting until there's a big inspection coming up, and he's not leaving us until that big inspection is taken care of. So that's can be commended for, him. That's what he thinks of his job so much. I mean, so, but anyway, I want to thank him for that. And Kevin, golly, Kevin, he's an outstanding person. Not only did he serve his county, but he served his country. He spent two tours in Afghanistan. And, that's a lot. And, I know the folks that went there can tell you it's not what people think it is. So, but I want to thank him for his service, not only to the county, but to this nation. With that being said, do I hear a motion to...
Mr. Chairman, can I interrupt?
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Two more things, and I promise I'll quit. If I don't say this, I'm going to regret it. Jimmy Milton, he's a major with the patrol division. He's retiring, and this is his last month. And he was a good friend of mine. He's still a good friend of mine, but he did 25 years with the Sheriff's Department. He's going to have a party here Friday, and I'm going to miss it, but I just want to thank him for his service to the county and to the citizens of Baldwin County. And the second thing is, Katrina and Cayenne, thank y'all for what y'all have done with this ARPA issues. I have not said it enough, but thank you for just the two of y'all doing this. And the third gentleman, the gentleman now helping, thank y'all. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Got a motion made by Commissioner Underwood, seconded by Commissioner McKenzie. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. The meeting is adjourned at 11:22.